They were the undisputed stars of World Series cricket in Kerry Packer's heyday, part of a fierce West Indian cricket side that devastated batting and bowling lineups throughout the world in the 70s and early 80s. We have the pleasure of their company right here, right now in the studio. Take a look at those faces. Sir Viv Richards, Joel Garner and Michael Holding. Good morning to you. A round of applause for the lads. Wow. A great personal thrill to have you here in the studio. If someone said to me when I was a young kid growing up that I'd be here sitting next to you, I would have said, come on, get off the grass. I don't mean that sort of grass. What about Australia? Let's start with Australia, South Africa at the moment. You've seen a little bit of the play yesterday. An extraordinary fight back from Michael Clarke and Ed Cowan yesterday. Your thoughts on, having seen South Africa against England as well, your thoughts on South Africa, Australia at the moment?
Well, I thought it was a good fight back by Ricky Ponting's team. Not that he's captain now, but everybody refers to it as Ricky Ponting's team. Michael Clarke, fantastic batsman. You know, he has been batting so well for so long now. A double century, great. The pitch looked a little bit flat, though. Just a little bit flat. You know, normally at the Gabba, you expect it to last 3-4 days with a bit of help for the bowlers. Not so much, no. It's a bit flat.
In terms of this bowling attack from South Africa, we heard so much about it, especially flowing out of England. They said that it's probably one of the best South African bowling attacks ever, one of the best bowling attacks all around the world ever. Now, I think that's a little bit of too much. I mean, I look at Joel Garner and Michael Holding. Your team was quite extraordinary, probably the best bowling attack of all time. Joel, for you, looking at their attack, do you think it stacks up?
Yeah, it is a very good bowling attack. It's strong. There's a bit of variety. You know, I don't like making comparisons because it's a bit unfair. You know, the times are different, and we had different styles, different everything in our bowling attack. We're all different.
But you were the best.
Well, that is what people say, but
Leave that to others.
we'll leave that one alone, like Mikey was saying.
Leave that one outside the off stump. Where do you think the modern game is placed? For you, Sir Viv, like looking at the modern game in terms of the 2020, the way it's been fractured, the way that 2020 has become so popular now, the 2020 tournaments are taking over. Where do you think that places Test cricket in the game itself at the moment?
Well, I'd like to believe that all of us that sit in here do believe that the true test where cricket is concerned would be Test match cricket. You're going to be tested as a batsman, as a bowler, if you are in those particular conditions. But what I know for sure is that we've had some lower tendencies where the audience been concerned, bums in seat. But 2020 cricket has basically helped in that category because it's the new crowd of today, that sort of stuff that everyone needs to believe that these individuals can get and accomplish things. And when you have people like Chris Gayle and all that, you know, you have a good product.
I was going to say, mention Chris Gayle, but while we're on overlay of you batting, because as far as I'm concerned, you were the person to swagger first and chew the gum first.
Well, the most important thing is to believe in the package you have. And if you believe in that particular package, you can strut and do all the stuff, but it's when you don't have it, you look a little bit foolish, in my opinion.
Are you talking to me? No. You seem to be making a very direct reference to me. No. Have we got some of the overlay of Sir Viv batting? Because, I mean, it was majestic to watch you bat and the power. They called you the Master Blaster for all the kids out there who don't know. And I know that as a direct comparison, Michael Clarke's just gone over 1,000 runs in the calendar year. In 1976, after Tony Greig wound you guys up before the series against England, you scored, I think, something in the order of 1,700 runs in the calendar year, averaging about 90. Do you think that sort of thing is missing from the modern game, the fact that you were able to go out there and swagger and be a personality like that, and that's what Test cricket needs to rejuvenate itself?
What I think you had some characters. You know, you speak of some of the players around the world themselves. People like Ian Botham to begin with. You know, he is a character by himself. And by having all these guys, the Dennis Lillies, you know, that mustache factor. You know, you had Jeff Thompson, one of my great mates. You know, he was a personality in himself. And
Big Bird.
Yeah, and you know, we must never ever forget him. You know, as you can see, the two guys, I'm well protected, am I?
You are well protected. Big Bird, do you mind if I call you Big Bird? Because I don't want to run the risk of being...
No, I don't mind at all.
Just to demonstrate how tall... Do you mind if I do a stand-up next to you?
Oh, you want to stand up?
You know, I'm 6'2".
What? Said he's 6'2".
So,
More like 5'8".
so that's Big. How did you get the name Big Bird?
Well, that came from school.
Did it?
When we were going to school, all of us, as big performers, were always in the class talking about Sesame Street. And the fellas, one afternoon, we were on the field playing cricket, and the fellas says, "Hey, look at Big Bird." And the name stuck.
Hey, would you mind just putting your arm? Because I think this is great. Look, that's how high the ball comes from, and that's why wasn't you weren't as fast as Michael or Malcolm. or Malcolm Marshall, but the height and the difficulty in playing the balls from you was because of that factor.
I don't know. There are a lot of tall men who are wrong,
Yeah.
who play cricket and play other sport. I think that there's a little bit of athleticism in it. You know? So, you know, it's not only the height. We had a fellow by the name of Stoddards, who was equally as tall as I am, and he was like a little dwiddler.
Yeah.
For not a fast bowler, but
You haven't quite told the truth about the big bird factor.
No, look, I don't think we can go there, can we? Hey, West Indians. Hey, just before we go, you're here for a very special cause. You're playing a bit of golf and a few other things. Just tell us about that very quickly before we move on.
Well, apparently, when I had my 60th birthday, which was March 7th, and that's gone now, I decided to coincide maybe my best friend's Cancer Society, and made sure, rather than to have a great day and the fun factor, to grab some awareness on what we're trying to get done. And it was so great to have two of my best mates and guys, you know, who you would have been in the bunkers with for quite some time, you know, in your corner. And they've been great support, and with Tony Jaggs from Atlantis Group, who have done magnificently well, getting it to this part of the world. So we're hoping on Monday we have a good turnout and that we can raise as much funds also for the other charities involved. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's, again, a great thrill to have you in. I could talk to you all day. But I appreciate you coming in and talking to us, and I look forward to seeing you on the golf course. It'd be fun.
Good stuff.
Good on you, lads.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, it's all about the package, so Vivian Richards says.